system can force open doors and sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges. That job belongs to you and me. Something that I learned from the Alternative Break Civic Engagement trip was just the power of exchanging stories with each other and how vital it is for students to come together around a common cause, but more importantly to share what brought them there.
I've learned that there's more than one way to be engaged, that you can listen, that you can share your story, that you can register, that you can volunteer at your local representative's office, that you're not limited, that there's endless possibilities.
And I never thought that I would be able to, say that I've been to Washington, D.C., I've talked to representatives, I've seen the White House, I've been inside the Capitol, and all of that has just really been an amazing opportunity, but it doesn't stop there. I've learned that, this lack of representation is even at the White House, it's even at the Capitol, and where these places that represent our country and our nation, there's still that lack of voices. And I've really just learned the importance, again, of sharing your voice and the changes that we have to make starting at UCSD.
And I'm definitely more confident, more articulate giving speeches now, because, now I can say, I went and I gave a speech to a representative. Like, I feel like I can go into an interview like that much more confident.
Tent talks were something that we did at James Madison University, where we set up a tent in the quad and had shirts and reusable straws and voter registration ballots and absentee ballots, and we also had a topic that we were discussing. So the topic was immigration, and we had flyers that basically had all of the information. It was basically a primer for people to look at, and we also had some trivia questions to get the conversation started.
Yeah, one of the questions we asked was like, what do Brianna, Albert Einstein, and Jesus have in common? And it turned heads. Students were busy walking from class to class, but it appealed to their curious side, and that made them want to stop and answer the question. And then from there, they would ask follow-up questions. So it was really interesting to get to talk to people that had a wide range of knowledge. Some of them were very knowledgeable, and they were like, yes, I know what this is. And some of them were like, actually, I don't know anything about immigration. Can you tell me what it is? I had a 10-minute conversation with one of JMU's students where she very blatantly was like, I'm not that educated on the subject. Can you tell me what it is? And then I asked her, do you know what the DREAM Act is? And she said, no, can you tell me what that is? And it led to a very nice one-on-one conversation that I would have never imagined that I would come from California to JMU to talk to a student about immigration and refugees. And it made her, at the very end, to stop and say, I'm a social work major, and I never considered to work with refugee and immigrant demographics, but I might have to go home and rethink some things now. And that was super impactful.
And it all inspired us to start a student org on campus that we are thinking about naming Triton's Voice, volunteering, organizing, and involvement for civic engagement. We're really excited to bring the idea of tent talks to our campus, calling them Triton Talks, and basically do the exact same thing that we were doing here, asking inquisitive questions that will catch people's eye and hopefully have a conversation with some students and get some people registered to vote.
That I'm looking forward to bringing back from this trip is the opening up dialogue with my coworkers, with my classmates, with my friends. Usually I don't talk about these kinds of things with them, even though I am a poli-sci major. I tend to say, well, they're not interested. This isn't what they're studying, but it's connected to everything, no matter what field of work you have. Politics and the institution that governs us in some way affects everyone, and I really am looking forward to just saying hey, do you know about this? Or are you registered to vote? Something as simple as that, and asking that question and facilitating that if you're not registered to vote, hey, I can go with you, or I can take you, or I can get the form for you, and going another step beyond just saying, are you registered to vote?
One of the skills that I've learned is definitely public speaking, just because I'm talking to representatives and senators, as well as practicing being vulnerable. Sharing my story has never really been easy to me because it's the stories of my family and my parents, and there's just so much behind the scenes that went into me getting into this exact location. But practicing vulnerability with other people, practicing being uncomfortable and just really taking that in. And if I don't speak up right now, even though this person might not agree with me or say something that goes against, my presence here, that's okay, because I'm doing my part and I'm trying to make an impact in their lives.
I never thought that I would get to that point, and it just inspired me to keep on with this dream that I have and with all of my goals.
This is the Alternative Break Civic Engagement Program, and we are so grateful for all the people over the past few years who supported us in getting us here and taking this journey. Thank you.
Thank you.